might have been like the most bittersweet NFL week for me ever. I mean, the Bills beat the Chiefs, the Vikings beat the Lions, but in return, my picks are torched, and I also lost in fantasy football because Jahmyr Gibbs couldn't do anything, even though I had Brock Bowers who came back and lit it up like the 4th of July. To make it worse, I lost by 1 point. Like, Jahmyr, I know it's not your fault you weren't getting carries. Dan Campbell, what are we doing? Also, are any of you doctors, I'm getting an ultrasound on this, like, welt that's sticking out of my arm. I think I tore something bowling. Just, like, slowly getting bigger. It's disgusting. Anyway, welcome to Week 9 NFL Reactions, everybody. We're going to get right into the action today, so as always, don't forget to check out G Fuel, don't forget to check out Waggle, and don't forget to use code WyattzWorld at sign up on Prize Picks to guarantee yourself to win a free $50 with your first $5 entry. But as always, please remember to play responsibly, and let's get into the video. Okay, so starting off with Thursday Night Football, we had the Ravens decimating the Miami Dolphins in probably one of the worst games I've seen Tua ever play. It's insane. Last week he lights it up, and this week he goes back to literally looking like he doesn't know what he's doing. Dancing around in the pockets, missing his targets by a mile. Who are you, Jordan Love? Ravens, on the other hand, they were on fire, belt to ass. Lamar Jackson, 204, 4 touchdowns. Welcome back. King Henry threw up 119 yards. Flowers didn't do what I thought he was going to do, honestly, with 64 yards. Touchdowns went to Charlie Kohler, Rashad Bateman, and Mark Andrews, who of course had 2 touchdowns, and I played him in fantasy. Pick came out of Malachi Starks. They may have only got to 2 once, but that man was so far in his own head that he was at times doing more for the Ravens defense than they were. Much needed win, Baltimore. Welcome back to the NFL. Now we got the 49ers beating the Giants by 10 points. This was an interesting game. CMC went off. Jackson Dart, I think, looked very productive. Mac Jones back again with another great game. 19 for 24, 235, 2 passing touchdowns. Like I said, McCaffrey, 106 in a score, also 1 through the air. Brian Robinson Jr. finally getting a touchdown and 53 rushing yards. Their defense picked up 2 sacks, one from Sam, I'm not going to try and pronounce your last name, and the other one from Cleveland Farrell. This guy was like a top 5 pick years ago, man. He's had a really bizarre career. Looking at the Giants, like I said, Jackson Dart, 191, 2 touchdowns through the air, 1 with his leg. Rushing outside of that, looks like it's kind of being passed down to Devin Singletary, as Tyrone Tracy only had 5 carries for 18 yards. I saw the passing touchdown to Theo Johnson. He's having a great year, honestly, compared to what he did last year already. But I didn't see the one to Gunnar Olszewski. Who the fuck is that guy? And also, if I saw it right, there was a forced fumble, and I believe Abdul Carter was part of that play, so good for him as well. Giants continue to lose, and San Francisco's back on track. Now we have the Chargers beating the Titans by 7, and from what I saw, this game looked so stupid. Like, right away, Herbert threw a pick 6, so there was a defensive touchdown for Tennessee. And then I think their next drive, Shamir Dyke had like a punter kick return touchdown that popped up. It was 14 rips. The Titans offense had done nothing. And ridiculous enough, this game remained close until the 4th quarter. Herbert, 2 touchdowns, obviously the 1 interception, but he had a rushing touchdown. Herbert's been running the ball a lot this year. Receiving was led by Gadsden. Quentin Johnston had a nice touchdown snag. And the Chargers defense racked up 4 sacks, but what's crazy enough, the Titans answered that back by sacking Justin Herbert 6 times. There were 10 sacks in this game. As far as the Titans offense go, they did literally nothing. Cam Ward, 145 yards, a couple goose eggs. Tony Pollard, 56 yards. Elike Omana, the featured player of the week for the Titans. He led receiving at least. But goodness gracious, if it wasn't for the special teams and defense, the Titans, I mean, this would have been one of their worst games of the year, I think. Now we got the Vikings stunning me, stunning the Lions, stunning the NFL. JJ McCarthy, who I played in fantasy, popping off, I'd say, with a pretty electric game. 143 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a pick. Also had a rushing touchdown. Obviously, his accuracy wasn't perfect, but for his standards and what people expected of him, man, he did everything he needed to do. Aaron Jones actually was very good on the ground until he got hurt, but he should be back next week, they say. I had him in fantasy as well. This is a fucking bad week for me, dude. Receiving led by Addison. Jefferson also had 6 receptions, 47 yards, and a touchdown. Hawk had a touchdown. Revenge game for him, kind of, in a way. 2 receptions, 11 yards. And the Vikings defense were sack machines, generating 5 amongst them, with Eric Wilson claiming 2. Looking at the Lions now, Jared Goff, 284, 2 touchdowns. Rushing really didn't do a whole lot other than Monty's touchdown, and Jahmyr Gibbs sat at the bottom there, 9 for 25. That was so fucking cool, man. I was so happy to watch that. Receiving was led by both Amon-Ra and Sam Laporta with 97 yards, although Sam had a score and he lit up us up, man. I feel like he was the fucking problem. While Jamison Williams also had 66 yards and a touchdown. And then looking at the Detroit defense, they also came back with 5 sacks of their own, and Terrion Arnold had his first career interception, and I thought that was a hell of a play. End of the day, looking at the kicking here, Jake Bates was sadly a difference maker, missing 1 field goal, ultimately letting the Vikings lead by 3 and win the game in a much needed victory. Also, look at these standings in the NFC North. Are you kidding me? This might be the best division in football right now. Now we've got the Falcons losing to the Patriots. And dare I say a missed extra point cost the Falcons this game. I'll tell you right now, Drake London wants to fist fight John Parker Romo. Michael Penix, 221, 3 touchdowns, all of them to Drake London. By the way, these were not ordinary touchdown catches. This guy looked like Kelvin fucking Johnson. If his hand touched that ball, it was coming down with him. It didn't matter where he was and who was on him. Falcons defense also 6 sacks, 3 people having 2 of them, Jalon Walker being one of those guys. Jesse Bates picking off Drake May. I mean, truly, these guys had the Patriots dead to rights, and they missed an extra point. As far as New England went, Drake May, I would say he had a more down-to-earth kind of week. 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. He didn't actually complete 90% of his passes for once either. Rushing was led by Travion, although Terrell Jennings had the touchdown. Receiving led by Demario Douglas, 4 for 100 and a score, while the other touchdown came from Stephon Diggs. Comparing the defense here too, New England answered for 1 sack to Atlanta's 6. And even though they let up 3 touchdowns to Drake London, they still clutched up and clamped down when they needed to, man. Patriots escape Atlanta, continuing to roll, and the Atlanta Falcons continue to just be the Atlanta Falcons. Now we have the Steelers stunning the Colts 27-20. Didn't really watch any of this game, and I'm kind of happy I didn't. It looked like Daniel Jones had a rough one, 342, but also 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions. However, he did have a rushing touchdown as well, while Jonathan Taylor actually proved he's a human being, only throwing up 45 yards and not scoring once. As far as receiving go, Alec Pierce and Pittman both tied for 115. Josh Downs had a touchdown, and their defense also came up with 3 sacks, 2.5 coming from Laiatu Latu. Looking at the Steelers now, Raj, 203, 1 touchdown. Jalen Warren, 16 carries for 31 yards, but 2 touchdowns. Okay, Kareem Hunt. And while receiving might have been lousy, Pat Freiermuth once again came up clutch with a touchdown. And also, looking at this, how the fuck did DK Metcalf only have 2 receptions for 6 yards? Huh? Steelers defense had a hell of a day too. Joey Porter getting a sack and a pick. Peyton Wilson getting a pick, leading the team in tackles. And also 4 sacks on the defense, one of them coming from the legend TJ Watt, and the 3rd interception actually coming from Jack Sawyer. Steelers are kind of like the Buffalo Bills, man. If their defense plays, you know, like how they're supposed to, they're a really hard team to beat. Now we have the Broncos sneaking past the Texans in a snooze fest of the year here. Game pretty much sucked until the 4th quarter. I mean, I did see Bo Nix with a really nice pass to Cortland Sutton for a touchdown. I saw RJ Harvey's touchdown. Guess what? I played him in fantasy. But other than that, I really didn't see much. I guess I did see CJ Stroud suffered a concussion, making Davis Mills come into the game throwing 17 for 30 and 137 yards. Schultz and Nico Collins had nice bounce backs here. 6 for 77. Nico returning 7 for 75. Running was lousy as hell. And Will Anderson came up with the solo sack for Houston on the day, while Kalen Bullock picked off Bo Nix. You want to know what's even more gross about this? Fairbairn was 5 for 6. I didn't see the distance on the kick that he missed, but if it's like within his range, I would be disgusted if I was the Houston Texans right now. Also, just think about this. The Texans lost by 3 to the Denver Broncos, who are now 7-2, having a kicker score every single one of their points. What the hell? Well, you call D'Amico Ryans. Now we got the Bears beating the Bengals. I should probably explain this. I made a skit today. I just posted it, so now we're just kind of stuck in this attire. Get well soon, Jaden Daniels. Anyway, we got the Bears beating the Bengals in what a lot of people are saying is potentially game of the year, and I'm gonna say the most aggravating game of the year, because I just wanted to watch the Bills, and this game would not end. Literally didn't get to see a play until Dalton Kincaid scored. Like, that was the first play I got to see. That being said, this shit was electric. Caleb Williams threw 3 touchdowns. DJ Moore threw a touchdown. Kyle Monangai ran for 176 yards. DJ Moore had a rushing touchdown as well. Just missing the receiving touchdown for him this week. Britton Brown had a rushing touchdown. Colston Loveland, I mean, I kind of predicted his breakout too. He had 6 receptions for 118 yards, 2 touchdowns, one of them being, you know, pretty much an angry run touchdown, sealing the game away. Caleb Williams had 2 receptions, one of them being a touchdown. Like, this was insane. Looking at the Bengals here, Flacco, 470, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. Run game was completely non-existent. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase combined for 13 13 receptions, 232 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Jamar Chase was absolutely livid walking off the field and into the tunnel. As you know, he had every right to be. I mean, I really don't think there's either defense to highlight here. What was there? 1 punt, maybe 2 in the whole game? NFL Red Zone was the Bears-Bengals game. Like, I'm not even kidding you. It was up 90% of that game slot. Good win for the Bears. It's just a little bit of a concerning win, too. Now we got the Packers losing to the Panthers. We found the Packers' weakness this year. It's below average to average teams. They just can't do it. Listen, I can't act like I watched a ton of this game, but the one thing I did tune in to see, thankfully, was the play where Jordan Love rainbowed the entire field. He took 10 seconds off of the clock. And there are people defending him. I don't care. I'm not saying it's all his fault. I'm just saying it was fucking hilarious because after running around for literally 10 seconds, the guy winds up and just heaves a bomb right to a Carolina Panther standing by himself in the end zone. Just how the camera panned over. It was something straight out of a comedy movie. And then the guy proceeded to drop the ball because I think he was so stunned that Love threw it right at him. I mean, thankfully, it looks like Carolina rehanded the ball over to Rico Dowdle. I'm sorry, Chuba, but I think you might be done now. Rico's literally undeniable. 130 yards, 2 more rushing touchdowns. He's probably top 5 in rushing now. Bryce had a slow day. Receiving had a slow day. I want to say Bryce's pick was off of a bat from Xavier Leggett, too. Yeah, Green Bay shockingly actually had a lot of yards, but man, were they so absolutely horrible at any form of execution that they did literally nothing with it. Poor Dobbs, man. Good game for him. 7 for 91, and he was the intended target on that hilarious throw from Love. Whether he gave up on the route or what, like I said, it was just absolutely jaw-dropping funny. Panthers are rocking, dude. Now we got a game, I'll be honest, I'm sorry to keep saying this, but obviously I was watching something else during this slot. I didn't even know that this game happened. Does the outcome shock me? Not at all. Matt Stafford threw for 281, 4 touchdowns. I mean, I saw the highlights this morning, but he threw for 4 touchdowns. Kyron Williams ran for $114 and a touchdown. Devontae scored twice. Puka Nacua scored once. Tyler Higbee scored once. The defense was apparently just an absolute nightmare for the New Orleans Saints offense. Chuck threw for 176, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. I actually did see the touchdown. It was Juwan Johnson. Running did nothing. Shaheed led the team in receiving at 68, and their defense did come up with 2 sacks, one of them coming from Chase Young, who now has 3 sacks in his last 3 games. Unsurprising outcome there. That'll bring us to the Jags at the Raiders, another game I wish I would have gotten to see more. I got to see the very, very end of it, and I did follow it through Red Zone on my computer because of Bowers, which I was ecstatic to see, because Brock Bowers erupted with 12 receptions, 127 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Dude, he was just mowing his way down the field, blasting through people. Ashton Jenney also had a receiving touchdown on the day, didn't get much done with his legs. Credit should be given to Geno Smith, who rocked the house compared to anything he's done so far. 284, 4 touchdowns. Interception came from Isaiah Polamoa. Solo sack came from, you guessed it, Max Crosby. Looking at the Jags now, remember when I said this was going to be chaotic fun? Didn't I predict 30-27? Actually, the more I think about it, I hit this game right on the fucking head. Because I also said if there was a head coach to get out of this chaotic fun, it would be Liam Cohen. I think I was really close on the Panthers-Packer game, too. Regardless, Trevor really didn't do jack shit through the air. Threw the ball down the field, I suppose, but no touchdowns. However, he ran in for 2. Tootin ran in for 1. Etienne led rushing. Parker Washington led receiving. However, they came up with 1 interception, 2 sacks, 1.5 by Josh Hines Allen, and if I saw this correctly, Trayvon Walker got ejected for throwing a punch. Good one, buddy. Really good one. I haven't heard your name in a fucking month, and that's how it comes up. Regardless, the Jags desperately needed that win, and they got it. Now we've got the Bills stunning me, stunning the NFL, I think, in really getting themselves right, in defeating their arch nemesis, the Kansas City Chiefs, 28-21. Look, I saw one of the 2 things I desperately wanted to see this game, and that was Maxwell Harrison. Not only did he snag, you know, the pick near the end of the game, but this guy was keeping up with Xavier Worthy. He is a quick player. And really to piggyback, you know, onto the Bills defense here, their pass rush yesterday, unbelievable. Like, there were really 2 negatives this game. 1, Matt Prater giving me a heart attack, and the fact that it was just, again, head-scratching 3rd down conversions or long conversions from the Bills secondary. Mahomes converted, I think, on like a 2nd and 12, a 3rd and 17, I'm pretty sure a 3rd and 9. As good as we can be, we still have those damn problems, and I can't even say I love McDermott's timeouts yesterday either, even though one of them was successful. I think 2 of them actually ended up being good for us. I question him, but I also defend him, because I think he develops players, and I think that truly deep down he is a well-minded coach. He's a good head coach. He's just got flaws when it comes to stopping teams in must-score situations. Regardless, Josh, 23 for 26, he had like an 88% completion percentage, 273 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns, touchdowns, but I think Osiris Torrance can kind of take credit for that. One of the best guards in the league right now. Ty Johnson had a rushing touchdown. James dropped 114 yards on a Chiefs team that I heard hadn't had 100 dropped on him in quite some time. Kincaid dropped 101 yards and a touchdown. Patience paying off with him. I mean, this Bills team truly came out of the tunnel like they got fired out of a cannon, and they kept that momentum up the entire time. You know, to talk a little bit about the Chiefs here, Mahomes, he had a very bad game. I think one of the worst of his career when it comes to like completion percentage and QBR. Kareem Hunt did get a rushing touchdown. Rashee Rice had a rushing touchdown. Rashee Rice kind of lit us up in general, and so did Travis Kelce in the second half. Hollywood had a very clutch play. It's just regular season. I know how it'll probably end in the postseason, but right now, feeling pretty good about this team, man. Go Bills, we're back. And ending, we have the death of the Commanders this season. The Seahawks not only piss-pounded them from start to finish, but Jaden Daniels had one of the most disgusting elbow injuries I've ever seen. I think it was just a dislocation. However, Dan Quinn has every right to be on the hot seat for that, because what the hell are you doing? Playing a quarterback struggling with injuries, down by 31 in the fourth quarter, especially after you're already punting the ball. Fucking stupid, man. As far as Seattle goes, Darnold just destroyed 21 for 24, 330 yards, 4 touchdowns. Also, check my Twitter account for the full apology, but Seattle, I have formally apologized to you guys, and I will do it one more time. I am sorry for everything I ever said about you. Rushing, AJ Barner had a touchdown. JSN had, I would say, a pretty lousy game for his standards at this point. Only 8 for 129, no touchdown. That's it. I remember when he was good. Anyway, Cody White had a score. Torrey Horton had 2 touchdowns. Elijah Ariel, he had a touchdown. And Seattle's defense obviously had a heyday with Washington, I think getting 4 sacks and a pick. Dan Quinn, that was a shameful thing on you, man. Like, seriously, that was so fucking stupid. And that is going to do it for my Week 9 NFL reactions, everybody. As always, I appreciate everyone for being here, and if you want to show support, please do it, because you know I appreciate that as well. In the meantime, I'm going to get this whipped up so you guys can watch it on time. Drop your feedback in the comment section, and as always, I will see you in the next video.